Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is the something day of launch. Can anybody help me out here? I'm sinking already. What are we on?
17, 14, day 14, isn't it? October 1st?
Yeah,
Is that what you said? Oh, but we're skipping to get there, though, aren't we?
we are. We are doing the chat log, and because it's launched, and because it's the 1st of October, we are naturally going to cover the 1st of October, which I thought it'd be pretty cool. So to see what he gets up to on that day, because it's this day. So we've never done that before. And I think there's is the people reading the chat log every night at the minute or something? That's what I saw, some kind of comment.
So just for point of reference, where do we leave off when we were actually doing it chronologically?
I have no
Were we
idea.
still okay? Because a lot of things happen between now and then and now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just
which
skip.
means nothing.
Yeah,
same shit every day.
Yeah, we're gonna have to skip. Just kind of like where we're up to and just move on to the 1st of October and just start from here. And of course, when we eventually continue, we'll go back and continue from where we left off, because it's like a few days at least. I think it's like 3 or 4 days or something like that. But Tiffany Lockhart is with us today. You don't usually like these chat log streams, do you, very much?
I do not, no.
Because do you
I
want
hate
to
the
just...
chat log.
Huh?
I hate the chat log.
Yeah, well, you read it with Lorne.
I know.
You seem
It's
to quite
traumatizing.
kind of enjoy shoving that down his throat, of which, of course, we all wish we could have done that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, the chat log just, it's so infuriating that I was just feeling, after doing it time and time again, it just got to be too much. So I thought it was better to take a break from doing that. But here I am.
Here you are.
I hope
you're willing to
I hope you
overlook
enjoyed
that
it
on
better
this
with
occasion.
us.
I was able to look over that, on this occasion, because Shin asked.
Andrew blackmailed her.
No,
Pretty
it was
much.
because Shin asked. If I do it, it's nope. No, I get nowhere. I get absolutely nowhere. So I messaged Shin and said, could you text her and see if she'll come on? And then I get a very nice message from Tiffany Lockhart saying, yes, of course I won't say no to Shin and I'll do the... Like, well, why the fuck don't I get responses like this?
It's way too easy to tell you to fuck off. But for Shin, for Shin, you can't disappoint Shin.
Secret weapon.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember also, we were kind of desperate for estrogen because we didn't think Amanda was going to make it. So if it was
that
just us two, it wouldn't have worked.
That is actually true, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Tiffany, can I ask, how far did you get with Lorne in the chat log? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I'm not sure. I thought we got into October. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that we did. For some reason, the 8th sticks out, the 7th or the 8th, but I'm not sure on that.
And this is where you broke through with the Molly situation. Reading the chat.
Yes, log. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. When Molly came up, it was the perfect time.
Yeah. Okay.
Tip, do you know, were all of your readings with Lorne released?
I think they may have been played. I don't know how they were broken up or anything like that. I didn't do the recording, and of course didn't save anything, so I really don't know.
What made you stop? Was it him or you?
I'm pretty sure it was him. I think he went to jail.
Oh, okay. Should
have I don't think. Right, exactly. Lorne, this is going to be on your dime. You're going to have to pay for this. And now let's pick up your chat log. Did you bring it with you? We could fax it over to them if you'd like.
Your cellmate has it.
Right, yeah. Everyone has it. Yeah. I don't remember exactly. I think it had to do with him going to prison. Something like that. Or it was close to that.
Was he still motivated up till the point he could no longer do it?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he had a lot of people that he was reading it to. You know, he was doing a performance for Sly and Leah Remini, Mitch McConnell, all of his favorites.
Mitch McConnell, yes.
I know.
It was his
Like,
redemption.
What a
It was
weird.
his redemption, exactly. Yeah, he really wanted to show everybody that he was truly sorry, that he was shocked by the disgusting things that he said. That was his whole performance.
Yeah. Okay.
I always
Yeah.
found his reading of the chat log very interesting, but I didn't quite get the reaction from him that I wanted. I think I wanted some form of total acceptance and kind of almost epiphany moment where he was going to sort of have this kind of bizarre psychotic episode where he just couldn't handle what he typed. Because we see that chat log a certain way of being this ridiculous monstrosity of all the worst things imaginable of human nature, and then he just kind of dismisses it and goes, oh, I was messed up, or he just kind of forgets that he taught it, the chat log was edited, all these crazy excuses, never quite putting himself in that situation. And then I was thinking, right, he's reading the chat log now, he's nowhere to go, what's his reaction going to be? And it was just kind of a very underwhelming kind of, he lowered his tone significantly. It was almost like he was reading it but not really taking in what he was saying, so he was kind of doing it without really doing it, if that makes any sense.
It does. And he was also feeling sorry for himself.
Yeah, that's a really good point to bring up, actually, because that's key to how it was going down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His motivation was flexible.
Yeah, exactly.
His motivation was flexible. Like when he was reading with Winnie, it was a big joke. When he was reading with Tiffany, it was all about redemption and getting her as his girlfriend. Of course, so he could play the role. He could read the room when it comes to that shit. But I expected not necessarily any kind of remorse or acceptance or anything like that. I was expecting him to, that is that's doctored right there. Or, he tried to make some issues about the time of the chat log.
Mm-hmm, he did.
All that stuff. Trying to assume that Xavier is is responsible for all the gross stuff. And I thought that's where he would go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't surprised by his reaction, because he's being told that he needs to be ashamed of what he did and that it's disgusting. So he's going to take the side of that. I mean, just like you guys were saying, when he's talking to Winnie about it, he can kind of laugh it off because she's laughing. But when nobody is laughing and they're upset by what he's saying and they're telling him that he's disgusting for saying it, he's going to go along with that too.
I remember also one of the things that stuck out when he was reading it with you is how he acknowledged how many lulls there were, LOLs. And he was like, he was mocking himself over that.
Yeah, he was. I think that he was surprised by how repetitive he was.
Yeah.
Can I just clarify something as well? Cake and Ice Cream has said, I totally disagree. I love listening to him read it. I didn't say I didn't enjoy it. I said it was a bit underwhelming, but there were moments when I was like very excited because I could almost feel how uncomfortable he was. It was very satisfying for large parts, but I suppose it went on for so long. You can't have that kind of reaction for the whole thing. Most of it, he was just going through the motions. And a lot of it, as you've just said, is boring. We can talk about it and we can try and put it into some form of context and we can make it interesting because it is interesting. But when he's reading it and you're not going over it, it's just a recital. It's dull because it's just, what did you do at school? LOL. Nothing. LOL. Who did you see?
Right.
Jesse. LOL. It's fucking stupid. It's boring.
Yeah, but that's the incriminating. Those are the incriminating parts where he's acknowledging she's a child.
Oh,
of
yeah,
course.
but it's not like in that context,
today?
yeah. But as
Yeah.
a kind of, for him to have some form of, I suppose what I wanted was when he's going over the disgusting parts, like stick your finger and all that kind of stuff. I wanted some kind of Rod rage style outrage. Obviously, it's not going to be rage, but some form of emotional outburst on par with that. but I didn't really get it. But I suppose that's not to say it isn't good or that anything. It's just where Lorne's concerned, you want. It's like when you're listening to a lot of the catfishing calls and his reaction with Rod and all that stuff. Some of it's great. Some of it doesn't live up to your expectations because you want him to be his most outrageous self all of the time, which isn't happening.
Did you want him to get to the point where he was wanting to off himself with Tylenol?
With 8 of them.
Sorry, that shouldn't be joked about. Sorry.
That was bad, Shen.
It's pity that we couldn't. I suppose what I wanted as well was for him to read it and also explain why he said certain things, but you can't get that because you can't get sense out of someone that doesn't make any, like, he can't explain why he said certain things to us in an interesting, in any kind of satisfying way. It's impossible. It's like, you know, people say, you know, would you like to interview Lorne, etc. What is the point? You cannot argue with an idiot. It's impossible. You know, there's no point. Well, you can argue with an idiot, but there's no point to it. I always think to
All
what
he
Mark
would say is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I forgot anyway. Go on.
Oh, okay. All he would say if you asked him, Lorne, explain why you said that. What were you thinking? All he would say is, I don't know. It's because I was messed up. I weren't myself. I don't even know where my mind was. My mind was nowhere. He acts like he was sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And, like he was just like a brainless zombie being led around, and he had no free will at all, no control over himself at all. So for me, I wasn't so much interested in his reaction necessarily, or like have any expectations towards his reaction. It was just satisfying to hear him confronted with it.
No, it was.
Because all the years before, he would insist, and he sounded so confident that he never talked to any other underage girls. And then to hear him be confronted with the Molly stuff was great, and insist that it was all doctored and edited, and you know, he only brought up the sex stuff because he thought that's what she wanted to hear. And then he's reading it and being confronted with the fact that she didn't encourage that at all. That was all for him. He did that because he wanted to, not because he thought that's what she would want to hear. But Tiffany was right. He was absolutely feeling sorry for himself the whole time. I think in his mind, the whole time he was thinking, I can't believe I was brought to this point by people who used me. I can't believe those people abused me so badly that they brought me to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just
And there's no fixing that.
It's a total exercise in him avoiding the truth. You know, everything but the truth he's going to throw out there. You know, and we talked about this before. We said, you know, if he ever was honest and had remorse and a true desire to acknowledge his you know, his crimes, his problems, his mental issues, whatever he's got, I wouldn't be interested in this guy. But how far he goes to avoid the truth is so not just maddening, but it's also entertaining.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, I think this is what I feel anyway from a lot of people in the community and myself as well in some occasions. I think because Lorne is so ridiculous in his behavior and so childlike, and he's so unique in a non-flattering way that we think his behavior is exclusive. People do crazier things than Lorne to avoid the truth. Some people's whole life is a charade of avoiding the plain and obvious to avoid taking responsibilities. You know, hardened criminals, that's what they do. But with Lorne, his situation is so silly. It's so like he's caught red-handed, you know, on TV with just it's like a comedy-style situation. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to bring up a Simpsons anecdote here, where Bart makes like a balloon of Principal Skinner, and he gets caught, and Skinner says, "Bart, show me your pockets," and Bart goes, "Okay, but I failed to see," and then he empties his pockets, and Skinner goes, "Let's see, a photograph of you making the dummy, blueprints of the dummy, and you're like, it's like,
I remember that
it's
one.
just like, that's it, that's it here. It's like you've got him going to the house, asking for a kiss, the chat log, the phone calls, he's like denying it. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Well, and down to little things. Like he said, they asked me to buy her a gift. They asked me to buy her a
I
bracelet.
listened to that the other day.
Never did.
Bonnie's a butthole call.
Yes. They never asked for shit. He's the one who said, I'm going to buy you something. I'm going to buy you a bracelet. So you always have something from me. And he wanted to leave her with a pair of his boxers. They were all his ideas.
Of course they were.
Oh,
Imagine.
I love that guy.
Imagine Dr. Moore finding those things. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I've already just laughed at something I've seen on the screen now, which is quite funny. So, everybody, right, we are now looking at the 1st of October, 2007. So, how many years? What are we on? 16 years? Fucking Jesus Christ. 60. Someone put in the comments of one of my videos or a community post and said I was like 2 when Lorne got busted. I was like, fucking Jesus Christ, that made me feel old. Anyway, so on the 1st of October, the usual kind of stuff. Good morning, my precious. I love you. Smile. I miss my baby girl. I'm so sad right now. I want my baby girl. This is what made me laugh. I've changed my password, precious. My password is Kayla Marie. Do you think he really did? I just find that very funny.
I think that he absolutely did. He was always doing that. He sees that as a way of showing that you're important to him. Because think about how many times he'll change his code to his phone to his girlfriend's birthday.
And it's never something that costs him anything. It's always like,
oh well. Now listen.
I'll give you my my social security number. How's that? Now it really you know how I feel about you now. But it's always these little simple things that he wants so much credit for.
Yeah, of course.
And stupid, by the way.
Okay, let's.
And by the way, let's not gloss over the fact that this is 7:30 in the morning. My guess is we know Lorne's sleeping habits these days, which is like 3 or 4 hours a night. So, I think he has to get up for work at this point. Maybe he has the construction job. Do we know, or is he still doing the call center job? We don't know, but I think it's construction.
Yeah,
job
I'm not sure.
I think he's still doing the construction at this point.
I think it was because he had to get up for that job, but the other job was a night job. So unless he's up at 7:34 because he can't stop thinking about this child bride of his.
Well, his last message from the day before was at 11:26 p.m.
Okay, so he might have gotten some sleep. Who knows?
On the floor.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he proper went to town. Kayla went night, and he was babbling on for a good...
He moved Bud out of his favorite spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to
So he's all jacked up all night. I mean, like I said before, he's got 30 days, 30 nights to sleep on what he's doing and to reconsider what he's doing and think, oh, maybe I should pull back. Oh, I shouldn't do this at all. What is wrong with me? Instead, he gets even more enthusiastic, even more excited as the nights go by.
Obsessive.
Well, I think it's that drive that he has that's even more evidence with the catfishing, even more than it is here, in my opinion, because the scenarios that the catfishing represents are that ludicrous, that crazy. He's putting up with so much abuse that his drive to have this, whatever it is that he's seeking, if it's just a partner or if it's just the answer to all his problems or whatever it is, he will literally stop at nothing. I've got to I mentioned this on the phone to Tiffany the other day because I was listening to one of the thruple calls, and I was on a long, well, not a long drive back compared to my friends in the States. This was like an hour and 40, but because our country's the size of a postage stamp, a big drive for us is like 3 hours. But anyway, so I was driving back, and I was getting a bit sick of the music that I was playing. I just wanted a break from music, so I put one of the thruple calls on, and it was the one where, one of the latest ones where the robot proposes to Casey, and Lorne's on the phone as well. And what really made me laugh is like he can't get his head around what's going on, and then the next minute the robot says, "Would you be the walk us down the aisle, Lorne?" And I'm picturing in my head this scenario of this stunning, beautiful supermodel, Casey Moreau, walking down the aisle in this fancy ceremony, and Lorne walking right behind them. Like just picture that in your brain. Can you imagine like a bystander, like what's the fuck is going on here? Who's that guy? Oh, do you see the girl on the left? That's one of the predators. She was a decoy on to catch a predator, and that's one of the guys that she caught. Like, and she's walking these two down the aisle. Like, can you imagine? I was like picturing that in my brain.
Did you hear Lorne gasping for air at that part when Jamie proposed and Casey said yes? He started making these really weird sounds. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I thought he was kind of laughing.
I think he was like trying to catch
Wait
his
a minute,
breath,
yeah.
kind of.
Didn't he say
Even
I had to get
Casey
off the
asked
phone to
him.
gather myself or something?
Yeah, he started crying shortly after that, but Casey even asked him, "Why does it sound like you're gasping for air? Why are you making that noise? What is that?" And he's like, "I'm trying to look for the words and I can't even find them."
Well, he finally came out with them. He said that it was because he was hoping that those words would be the words that Jamie told him.
Yeah.
And they were still
Right.
riding him doing that, though. You know?
He also
But it's
said
always
he
jealousy.
wanted to propose to them, which is very funny because I think he thought you could marry two people.
Yeah, he said. Imagine seeing those three on the beach. Jesus Christ.
But there was
It would
something
be
you
a
said to
sight.
me as well, Tiffany. You said like, I completely forgot because I was engrossed in the call just how ridiculous it was, and I feel almost stupid for saying this. I'd forgotten how ridiculous it was that this supermodel is proposing to this other girl on the phone using a robot voice with this sex offender listening to them while there's a throuple going on. It's like they've not seen each other. It's just, it's just like, what a ridiculous scenario. And what's really funny about that is all the red flags are going off in Lorne's brain, which is why he says, I can't, I don't understand what's going on. It's like my probation keep having a go at me and you keep having a go at me. And it's like, I don't understand. It's like, Lorne, just why? It's like the plain and obvious is right there in front of you, but you just can't see it.
Yeah.
I just remember laughing when he was explaining that probation keeps saying basically that this is shit.
Do you
They
remember
were just-
what he did right after he stopped crying? Immediately after he stopped crying,
Not off the top of my head.
he tried to talk them into having phone sex while he listened.
Right,
That's
right. You go ahead.
Oh,
I
he
don't mind.
did? Oh,
No,
I
but
don't-
they started doing it though, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, and then he wanted
Yeah.
them to
Well,
continue.
Yeah,
But the robot said the feeling was gone, so that kind of.
but he was
Kinda
still
shrunk him down.
sniffling from sobbing about their proposal, and he didn't even have time to wipe the tears off his face, and he was like, "I can listen to you to have phone sex. We're gonna be having sex together anyway. I don't mind. It doesn't bother
my God.
me."
Oh, that's perfect.
Like, oh, it
Yeah.
doesn't bother you, Lauren?
You know,
Okay, good
the
to
other-
know.
The other things, they're shitting all over him, right? I mean, the stuff they're saying. This is why he's in class, babe. That was my favorite line. They're shitting all over him, but they're shitting all over him for real reasons, not
Dan
things that he's done
Jones is just-
outside.
Dan Jones has just quoted what Lorne said, and it made me laugh when I read it. He said, probation running the mouths off. What's really funny is he just thinks they're giving him a hard time. They're just what they're trying to do is ruin his life. It's like, no, Lorne.
Yeah.
But what Lorne was doing was he was contacting Casey and bad mouthing. I can't remember the robot, whatever her name is. And then he was doing the same thing with Casey about the robot. He was lying to each. He was manipulating them. So he deserves that shit. It's not like it just. And he's talking about favorites. You're just no. There's a reason why you're getting shit on, and you don't even understand that. Well, I don't do that anymore. Okay, Okay, it's over, I guess.
Lesson
Yeah, he's just
learned.
mad because he was no one's favorite. And he would try
Yeah.
to pretend that him and Jamie had like a special connection. It wasn't Casey and Jamie who were playing favorites
Right.
with each other. It was him and Jamie had a special connection because they had been together for so long. And Casey was really jealous of that. And she would get really mad when they would get close, which never happened.
And he
It,
told
it
Jamie
never
that
happened.
Casey looked ugly without makeup on, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, all the
Yeah.
shit that he was doing behind the scenes. So it's not like they were just gratuitously shitting on him. You know, he earned that.
They did do that too, but
Yeah, I know, but still, I mean, it's nice when you have a good reason.
yeah, no, definitely. There were plenty of good reasons. Like when he brought up the fact that he's like, well, Jamie, why were you emailing Casey behind my back? And she's like, well, because you were being shitty and trying to sort of play both of them. He was telling
Yeah, the
Casey that
front.
he didn't have feelings for Jamie anymore. He didn't want to be with Jamie anymore. And then he was telling Jamie that she should tell her boyfriend that her heart and pussy will always belong to Lorne.
Right, and the front wedgie thing,
And
which I found very disturbing. You know, it's almost like violent, sexual violence. He does the same thing with Lamondre. He's going to go out and get a girl and use Lamondre on her that night. I mean, he talks like a serial killer when it comes to sex.
Yeah,
Like he's not going to
gross.
use his own penis. He's going to
Lorne's
use
relationship
foreign
with
objects.
that dildo is rather disturbing.
I've heard him
Well,
say,
because he
you know,
knew.
shove a broomstick up her ass or a broomstick up her
Yeah,
C word.
yeah.
You know, he's vile. He's violently vile. You
The
know,
funny thing about him threatening to use Lamondre on other women is because I think he knew that Jamie would be far more jealous or upset about him using Lamondre on another woman than she would if
Right.
him actually having sex with another woman. She valued Lamondre far more than she valued Lauren's penis.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a pattern though. He's always envisioning on using foreign objects, things like that. He's done it. I'd say at least 5 times. I've heard him say that. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's weird. He's got weird ideas about sex.
It's violent.
You
I
ain't
think.
kidding about that. So, if we just get back to the chat log, I'm going to work now, and then look, Kayla comes online at 7:30.
Blowing up his phone.
I miss you. Look, you see, you've just kind of made me realize as well. If this scenario was like no, let's just say that let's just say that mobile phones were a thing back then. They'd be communicating like 24/7. That'd have been an interesting scenario, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would have been a major problem that she didn't answer for 7 hours.
Yeah, you're right. It would have caused him. No, but you can imagine his meltdowns, though. How cool would that have been? But saying that, though, we have that now with the catfishing, don't we? I mean, you know, like with the Ramona calls and, you know, all that kind of stuff. We have those kind of reactions, so maybe I'm just being greedy, but it would be funny because obviously the way the dynamics in each relationship are kind of different, and he kind of feels like he's in total control here, which of course he is as far as this, you know, as far as this little setup is.
And he's working, by the way, at the call center in this one because he goes to work at noon here. And he wouldn't be doing that if he was working in construction. And he's still not home at 9:46.
Good point, dude. Good point. Yeah, so, Kayla, I just read the poem you wrote for me in my MySpace mail. How sweet. I love it. Is that the
And we
one where
love
he's
it,
like,
too.
if there's anything wrong with me, then you were the cure or some waffle?
Yeah. Nobody's going to stop me
Probably.
because of our ages. You know, I'm going to keep persisting even with the age difference.
Oh, here we go. I love you. Yay, you're back. Why did you think I wasn't going to be here tonight? I don't know. Lol. I miss you so bad it's not even fun, baby. Funny. I was really missing you. Don't make any plans for this weekend. Okay, I want both Saturday and Sunday with you. That's quite funny. Yeah, just take over a life
He
form, why don't
phrases
you?
it so weird. Yeah, I want to spend both Saturday and Sunday with you. They're just sitting in front of their computers. She doesn't even have a camera.
Yeah,
Right.
her
What are
family
you
and
do for
friends
the
wouldn't.
whole fucking day?
Yeah, that's not suspicious to her family and friends. You know,
But what's
Beautiful
interesting
Right.
is
She's
weekend.
just going to be in her room.
that's
on
not
the
really
computer.
changed.
For
Lorne
2 days
thinks
straight.
spending quality time with someone is just a phone call.
Of course.
He's a time
He does.
burglar.
He even tried to convince Casey to get a headset, just like he tried to convince Debbie, so they could just be on the phone together while they were doing stuff.
Right.
I think you should have gotten one, Tiffany. You passed up a good time.
Sorry, Shen. If I
No,
could
what
go
a
back,
nightmare.
I would do it all over again.
You could
okay?
take him to
I would get
work
the
with
headset.
you.
Yeah, I
It'd be
would.
so
I
much-
would have him with me all the time. Yes,
So much easier to
All
run
the
through
time.
airports with.
sounds great.
Well, that's what Ramona did essentially, right? She would just have him. They would just be on the phone, doing whatever for like 8 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was at least one time with that because it was mentioned that
Fucking
happened. That
crazy.
she's like, "Well, why are we doing this? You're just shuffling around in the background,
Mhm.
you know."
You know, it
Well, this
also
is
reminds me.
also the man who will keep his girlfriend on the phone for an entire 3 hours while he's doing the yard sale, not saying a word to her. He's just
Oh, I
talking
thought you were
with
going to say
the.
while he sleeps, like he did with Molly.
Oh, I'm sure he would love to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would love
He
that.
he tried to do it with Winnie. I remember one call where he told her, I got to go to sleep because I have to go to work tomorrow. So if we're going to be on the phone tonight, then you got to stay on the phone with me all night while I sleep.
Yeah,
And she
that's
laughed
her
at him,
punishment.
and yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not going to be
how
on
they
the fucking
farted.
phone. Fucking idiot.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine trying to sleep with Winnie on the phone?
There's at least one call where Lorne is trying to sleep while Winnie's on the phone, and she's singing really funny songs to him and
Yeah.
trying to wake him up. Her goal, I'm sure, was to keep him up all night so he was exhausted the next day.
Sure. Yeah. And that's all
And he
Lorne
like
does
talks in
anyway.
his sleep.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he says weird stuff in his sleep. I think Reborn mentioned in one call, the door dogs, how he talks about the door. That's what they call the hot dogs that are just in the fridge on the door. And they're
Yeah.
there for Lorne and Roy to just grab them and eat them unheated.
Yeah.
That's where he learned about door dogs. I think Lorne mentioned door dogs in his sleep,
Oh, that's so funny.
dreaming about uncooked hot dogs.
What the hell kind of dream is that?
I don't know.
I don't know, phallic-looking things in your dream. That makes me think. But what about the
True.
time he talked? I don't know which catfish was, but he was saying that there were multiple times when he would wake up to some text that he had written in the middle of the night that he didn't hit send on.
I think
That
that was
didn't make
Jamie.
sense.
Yeah.
What is going on with that?
Well, I mean, ask Reborn or Blue Boy. He would text constantly, incessantly, just all day long. It would drive them crazy.
I'd love to see
And I
this.
imagine he'd like wake up in the middle of the night for a second, and the very first thing he would do is reach for his phone to see if he had gotten a text from her.
Mhm.
And of course, he's gonna send a text to her regardless. And I guess he just fell asleep mid text and forgot to send it.
I wonder what they say though. I mean, he said they didn't make sense, but I bet you we can extrapolate a lot of stuff out of it. Know what's going on in his unconscious mind.
I wish he had hit
Could
send.
be. Yeah, unless it was something about door dogs or, something that really doesn't make sense. But it'd be funny to see anyway.
So, Kayla responds with quite a legitimate point to bring up is, what if my parents make me do something? In other words, I can't say, I can't make any plans. Nor should you really be asking me to, is more to the point. Why does he just respond with, I need to get under... Oh, right. I feel a bit stupid for saying that then. I was kind of looking at it from a normal person's perspective in the middle of a conversation when you're asking, but it's 2
Because
seconds
if she doesn't
later.
protest,
He'd not,
that's
he'd not even read a response, because look, what if my parents make me 2 seconds later? He can't type that quick.
it's assent by silence. If she doesn't protest, then she wanted it.
I need to get undressed. K. Well, that's kind of different. We can't really do anything about that. Oh, look at Bud. I think he wants to play. Yeah, I know. Lol.
She's trying to change the subject.
I know. I was thinking that. I don't want to see you naked again. Oh, look at Bud.
I know. Oh, he's already naked for sure.
Yeah.
And again, we're going back to the to Molly again. How often he gets naked in this thing? There's no way you can tell me that he wasn't doing that every night with Molly, or at least maybe
she might have had boundaries though, whereas Kayla doesn't really.
Well, that would just mean he wouldn't shine it on his penis. It would just
he
be
said
naked
that.
anyway.
He admitted that, Shin, that when he was talking to Tiffany about it, she asked him, were you naked on camera with Molly like you were with Kayla? And he said, yeah, but she didn't always see. Meaning,
and also he said not every
have
night.
It pointed down there. Yeah.
I think he
sure
said not
was
every
quite
night.
Frequent. Mm-hmm.
But that's who he is, though. That's what he wants to do. That's what he does when he's even not on the phone with anybody. He's going to walk around his house naked.
Yeah, I think as soon as he gets home, he just takes his clothes off for some.
Yeah, he's not going to put them on because he's talking to someone.
No, yeah. Like normal people go home and put on sweatpants or pajamas, or even like a guy might strip down to his boxers or something. He just goes completely naked. No matter the time of the year, too. Maine is very cold in the winter. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's cold. And he will just walk around his house fully naked all the time.
Yeah.
Which makes it even funnier that that police officer went to his door at 2 a.m. when he was half naked, hiding beer cans.
I wish he had a body cam on.
No, that'd be funny.
See a body cam? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Can we get that?
With a really tiny bird spot.
We should do a FOIA request. Maybe we can get. Maybe they did have a body cam on.
I kind of doubt that like the sheriff's department or whatever up there would have body cams, but could be worth a try.
When you're sitting out of the trailer and you see this sight in front of you, and you're just watching it for a while, wouldn't you be tempted to put your body cam on when you go confront them?
Yeah,
we've seen Lorne naked enough. We don't need that body cam. Let's be honest.
It'd be funny.
It would be funny.
I would pay $100 for it.
You'd pay
it would be funny
to see Lorne naked. That's interesting.
Well, to see him panicking naked, trying to hide beer cans in a dog food bag or whatever he did.
Right, that's the part.
That's the part. There.
He's hiding the beers in the bag. If Skip Tracer was listening to this, can you check to see if we can do a FOIA request and see if we can get the date on that too? That would be great.
I don't know the date.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
2017, I think.
So let's see how long it takes Lorne to focus on his penis, verbally, of course, not just visually. Yeah, I know he misses me. Yeah, well, oh my God, I miss you so much, Precious. I miss you too. How did your day go? Awful. Why? Because all I thought about was you, and I was mad at my parents for making me leave you last night. That's kind of interesting because Kayla doesn't often go into any kind of detail about her affection for Lorne or anything like that. We don't really see that often. It's always Lorne at the forefront, going straight ahead and coming out with the affection, which usually Kayla just responds to. So it's kind of interesting that. It's kind of interesting to see what Lorne does with it. Well, there we go. Rose, kiss, wild, smiley, wink,
Yeah,
he went
smile.
squeaking all over the
He's gone
place.
fucking mental. That's exactly the kind of response I would have expected from
That's
Lorne.
squeaking. That's stupid laughter. That's everything.
It's
And
everything
if he was on the
wants.
phone with her, he would have said, "Huh?"
Yeah.
So
Yes,
you could hear it
he
again.
would have wanted her to repeat it. He definitely would.
Yeah.
I was upset that they made you leave too. It's a big smile. But we really can't do anything about it for a while, so we kind of have to deal with it. That's very responsible and mature of you, Lorne. It really is.
It really pisses me off when anytime her parents are mentioned, that like, oh yeah, I was upset that they made you leave too. Almost like it's me and you against your parents, Kayla. You know, like who the fuck is Lauren to say that he was upset that her parents instructed her to do something, to go to bed
Right.
or to have dinner with her family or whatever they were doing.
Mhm.
To do something for her well-being and health. How dare them?
It feels like trying to isolate her from her parents, you know, or like I said, like it's me and you against them.
Well, he said that before. Remember the question he had asked if his parents forbid him from, if her parents forbid her from talking to him, would she still try to do it? Go around that? Yeah, a lot of it's divide and conquer. He does it all the time. You know, with trying to think the lock on the door, things like that.
Well, perfect example is your dad can't be in the delivery room when you have a baby.
That's a legendary moment in the Lorne in the Lorne saga. That it really is for many reasons. I think the separation that he's trying to I think this is common among predators, isn't it? This kind of, it's part of the grooming process, isn't it? You know,
isolate.
I'm the only one you can trust. You know, all that kind of thing. But for parents, like obviously you, Shin, and Amanda James, I can see that striking a nerve a little bit more, maybe because you're thinking of it from, not that anybody who hasn't got children can't, you know, think of in those terms, of course, not trying to say that, but you know, when you're a parent and you've had, you know, you both had daughters at the same age as what Kayla, you know what it's like to have a teenage daughter is what I'm getting at. And when someone like Lorne comes along,
it's like somebody trying to kidnap your child.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. You know, especially this gargoyle.
It's frustrating on so many levels, isn't it? It's so, I don't even know where to start. And it's like he's got there's no shame there on his part as well. Obviously, he doesn't really care about the relationship that she has with the parents. How important that is for her, for her well-being.
He plays with that. You know, it's not that he's trying to tell her to necessarily just disregard your parents. He's also trying to tell her to manipulate her parents. You know, telling her father to get a thong for her, you know, getting the lock on the door, like I said before. He's trying to manipulate the parents through her.
Mm-hmm. And lie to her parents. Tell your parents you need to call Jesse so you can get the phone. Make sure you call Jesse after you call me so they won't see my number. Delete your archive. And he should.
Deceive them is part of the deal. Yeah. Deceiving them is sorry.
Right. No, I agree. Of course, they have to deceive them. They're obviously not going to approve of this 36-year-old man's relationship with their child. But I feel like he takes it even further, than just deceiving them. Like you said, he wants to manipulate them and
control
them. It's just weird. Yeah. You think with the way he talks about his nieces, this like great affection and like paternal affection he has for his nieces, according to him, you'd think he would be able to empathize and put himself in the role of a father and somebody doing this to a child. Obviously he doesn't feel that for his nieces, we know that, but he tries so hard to portray that. He said his nieces were with him 80% of the time. He raised them, he took such good care of them and loved them so much. If that were true, then maybe he would have thought for a moment, how would I feel if a 36-year-old man skipped into my house and sat in my fucking lazy boy,
Mhm.
begging my little 13-year-old niece for a kiss and, talking about condoms and trying to take her back to Nashville. But it never entered his head. He was so confident. He walked in that house like he owned the place.
Mm-hmm. He thought he hit the jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
He sure did. And he
I
kind of
would have
did.
thought he would have looked around a little bit more. That was an impressive house, especially compared to where Lorne was living and where Lorne comes from. So you'd think that he'd walk in, like a lot of the predators would walk into those houses and say, wow, you've got a really nice house. Holy shit, this place is huge. Like they were impressed or seemed aware that it was a, like an extraordinary home. Lorne didn't even really look around. He was just all eyes on Casey.
Even if
He
he
was
didn't
dead.
notice the eloquence of the house and how big it was and how grand it was, especially considering where his background. I mean, not social shaming at all, but I'm just saying he's not used to that. I think you would have at least noticed that this huge house with all these square footage has these two chairs right next to each other, right across from each other. You could barely squeeze anybody in between them. I mean, wouldn't that be like some kind of red flag right away?
Well, like I said, he was just so focused on Casey. He didn't even look
Right.
around. I didn't even see his eyes like sweep the room or anything to see if anyone was there. He just followed her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think to be more specific, I think he was more focused on impressing Casey. I mean, trying to leave a great impression. He was more obsessed with that. And of course, it didn't take much for him to fall ass over tea kettle over Casey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think his big thing is getting somehow exuding some confidence and playfulness and all that other stuff to attract her. He was already attractive, and he was so insecure about it too.
Yeah, you could tell he was very nervous and bashful. I mean, he was. I think you're right. He was trying to exude confidence, kind of like fake it till you make it. But I think he was very nervous
Mm-hmm.
by a 13-year-old girl, which is hilarious.
It says here, Kayla says, what you doing? And then Lorne goes, I was going available to just use. So she must be looking at what he's doing on his kind of Yahoo profile or something. I don't really know what's going on here. I was going available to see what's next to my name. What are you doing? Yeah, my putter locked up for a sec. What? My pewter locked up for a second. Oh, right, this is boring. Hang on, okay. I want to make a pot of coffee. Okay. Bowling Green.
Yeah, it's 10:30 at night and he's making a pot of coffee.
Yeah, interesting.
But that's also what he's just saying there as far as showing that he's only available to her and he wants to know if on her little messenger screen if her other friends can see that she's online or not. He wants it to show that that he's the only one that knows that she's online, that she's not set to available.
And this goes against his excuse that nobody wanted to talk to her, so he would talk to her. Why would he have to tell her to go invisible?
Well, in the chat room, I think she was talking about the chat room specifically. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly, I think Jesse and Maria and maybe Derek was on there too. We don't know
what? Ex-Derek?
No.
Yeah.
Derek was in the gym lifting weights.
Right, exactly. And the cam was on, so she could watch him.
So funny. Why did she come out with Bowling Green all of a sudden without any question? Have I missed something?
Oh,
she
that's
just
her way of
giving. Out of nowhere.
That's like Lorne giving her his social security number. That's her giving in return. Now she tells him where I live.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that conversation came from.
Do you understand what I mean, though? It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, she wants him there. She wants him there, remember?
No, but what I'm saying is he doesn't ask a question. She just comes out with it.
I think like in a previous leading up to this, at some point he had been telling her you're going to need to, I know I told you not to tell me where you live, what town you live in. Don't tell anybody but I need you to tell me, because
so I can
I'm
make
gonna,
plans. Yeah.
Right. So I can plan. And he asked her, are you close to Bowling Green? For some reason, just out of the blue. This is before she told him she lived in Bowling Green. And she said, I don't know. I don't know if I should tell you yet. Oh, my mom's calling me. Gotta go. So I think maybe this
But
is
either
kind of
way,
in response.
This sets the hook even deeper, though. Now he's really hooked. Now he thinks he's got her trust, and now we can start making plans. He's giddy as shit right now.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
He wasn't anyway, but yeah. Oh, and you're exactly right, Shane. Because look at this little line here. He's got dead excited. You know when he gets excited because he puts a rose? That's the equivalent of an erection for Lorne, if he could actually get one.
I love this. You'll never regret it, baby. I promise. You regret it, though, don't you, Lorne?
No, I will never regret it.
You'll never regret it, baby. I promise. What's funny about that is he's almost admitting he's not very sophisticated, Lorne. He's almost admitting that she will fucking regret it, because he has to point it out and he has to say never. He's got such a need to persuade. He's so readable, Lorne. It's unbelievable. Thank you for trusting me. You'll never regret it, baby. Oh my God. Oh dear.
I wonder, since Lorne mentioned the somebody just said something in the chat. Since Lorne mentioned the Bowling Green before she exposed what it was, I wonder if they said, you know what, let's find a place in Bowling Green. This guy wants to get. In other words, they made the they created the Sting House based on Lorne's suggestion. It'll be easier for her to get there. You know what I mean? Maybe they were going to do it.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
You know,
talk about being the architect of his own downfall. Everything he wanted.
You know what? It would be interesting. We would have to look at the chat logs of the other guys and see when they started, to see if Lorne was the first one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing if they were like looking for somewhere to, where should we have the Sting House? That, you know, that weird Lorne guy who proposed, he said Bowling Green. Should we have it there?
Right, exactly.
Oh, there's a house free. Somebody's renting the house out. Brilliant.
When should we do it? Oh, it's that pervert's birthday. Let's do it on his birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even more. Then now Lorne has the problem. Now Lorne has a sincere issue with Xavier. Is he really?
Yeah, exactly. Xavier was the one who was making the phone calls for the house. He was the one that planned the day because he heard that it was Lorne's birthday. So I can kind of understand now that it was all around.
They did
Lorne.
everything but give him gas money.
And he made $100,000 an episode. Xavier personally made $100,000 an episode.
All
right,
pure
off of
profit
Lorne's
for
ass.
their own greedy purposes. They're not allowed to get
And all he
paid for
bought
what
was
they
a
do.
leather jacket. All he bought was a stupid leather jacket and his stupid little glasses that he's probably broke by now.
Yeah, why did he say they're broken?
I don't know. That was so funny though. Like, great burn, Lorne. You probably broke his glasses by now.
You know,
and Casey responds with, "You're fucking broke."
Yeah, well, there you
I
go.
know, but
in the bank.
You call somebody a crybaby? Are you kidding me? This whole website dedicated to you crying. You should never call anybody a crybaby.
One of my favorite Casey quotes was when she said, "They have pictures of your asshole, Lorne. I've seen your asshole more than I've seen your face."
Yeah.
He's literally got nowhere to go, has he, Lorne? It's so funny. He's always trying to defend himself. Oh, great. Okay, so Smile, love you too. It took a lot for you to tell me, though, huh? So he's really trying to establish. He really wants to know how much she trusts him. You know how deep it goes. What's going on in the brain? I think he just wants more reinforcement, positive reinforcement all the time, doesn't he? Oh, like, you're the one for me, and you know I can't wait. I'm going to be your devoted slave.
Right. I made you trust me because I'm great. You know, it's similar. What did I do? It's similar to his thing where he says, "What did I do to make you love me so much?" You know, something like that. He's fishing for a compliment. He's fishing for her to say, well, I now have developed so much trust because I've seen you naked so many times. So here's where I live. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a tragedy behind a human being that wants this attention so badly that they have to resort to this. There really is. But of course, I'm not to say we feel sorry for him, of course, because he's not going to get any sympathy from us. Certainly not Amanda James or Tiffany or Shin.
Nope. I was just gonna say, I think it's gross. I think it's pathetic. Have some self-respect.
That doesn't exist.
Begging
in
for
Lorne's
attention
world.
like that. Begging for affection. It's gross.
And credit, some kind of compliments. He's always looking for something to validate his own weird, overinflated sense of self.
And he doesn't care that it's forced. Like, he'll try to force compliments out of people. And that would cancel out the compliment for me. If I had to say to somebody, tell me I'm pretty, and they're like, okay, you're pretty, it wouldn't be a compliment anymore.
Or if
You
I do
wouldn't start
something nice for
squeaking?
someone.
No, I don't think I'd start squeaking.
You must
might.
really
It's
like me.
It's like when you remind somebody that you did something nice for them, it takes away the value. You know?
But don't forget, this is a predator. Is sort of scurrying round looking for scraps of anything, really. You know, he'll take anything at this point. That's what makes this so interesting. And there's a good bit coming up as well, because I've done a shin and sneaked ahead. So this is kind of you're going to love this, Tiffany. This is probably one of the reasons why you don't like doing this chat log. Don't ever tell anyone else from the internet, though. I know me, so I know what? I know me, so I know you're safe. I don't trust anyone. What the fuck is he talking about?
He's saying, I know myself. I know that I'm safe.
Yeah.
So you're all good.
I know me.
Saying, I know myself.
You're safe. I don't trust anyone from the internet except you. I thought so.
Oh my
last part-
God.
That
That's
last part is
funny.
incongruent. That last part is weird.
That is weird.
He's saying I reciprocate because I trust you, right? Is
Yes.
that what that last part is?
Yes. So he's saying that you must trust me more than you trust anyone else. And you should, because I know me and you're safe. And so
He shot
in
all
return,
the guns off on that one.
I don't
Yeah.
trust anyone from the internet except you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm giving you multiple reasons now.
This is
He has to
classic
force
Lorne.
a bond. Yeah, it really is. He has to force this bond that this person who he's speaking to is the most important person in his life, and he's the most important person in her life. That's what it all comes down to.
Actually, the only person in your life.
I think
Yeah.
it's still these patterns, and he loves that word, Lorne. These patterns still continue with the catfishing. It's all the same. I think it all comes from the fact that Lorne's never experienced a relationship. I think that he's got such to be like in your mid-30s and to have never had a relationship of any substance or anything, any form of. I mean, we can debate his sexual experience forever, but there's one thing everybody can agree on is that Lorne hasn't had what one person of a reasonable standard would say is any kind of normal relationship with anybody, even necessarily a friendship, certainly not a relationship. And I think if you get to his age and you're as perverted as what he is, this is what comes from that, this bizarre kind of such a incessant need for anybody, you know. And also there's loads of sexual frustration there. He's very lonely, he's very insecure, and it all comes together in this bizarre kind of trapping, you know, because a lot of the predators just after just sexual gains. They're just, you know, a lot of them for various reasons, which we've, you know, talked about a lot. But with Lorne, there's more to it than that. There's the kind of he's kind of looking for the romantic side of it on occasion. He's disgusting, so he's trying to, his perverted side's coming up to the surface. There's all these security issues. His family have let him down. He doesn't have any friends. That's why it gets to this. Like, don't ever tell anyone else. It's like, I know me, so you're safe. Don't trust anyone else from the internet. I don't trust anybody else from the internet except you. So she is everything to him. Everything. And like you said, Tiffany, he wants her to feel the same, doesn't he?
Yes, in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
I mean, because there's no way that he is going to trust her. He's just saying that. He wants to have that really strong relationship with somebody.
No, but he wants to
trust
her, though, doesn't he? He wants
No,
to...
he does. Of course he does. Yeah. But it's not like it's something that's for real. It's the same way that he will say, I've never trusted anyone more than you. I've never gone this in depth with anyone.
He said
more
that
than
to
you. And
Jamie,
he says that to everybody.
didn't he?
He says it to everybody.
He says, I've never loved anybody like you before. And he believes it when he's saying it. I'm sure he does.
Well, but he says that to everyone. It's a part of his fantasy. I think the romantic element of it is part of his sexual fantasy.
Yeah. It's the idea of walking around naked all the time is not only just sexual, but it's also closeness, trust.
Yeah, and I think that's what turns him on. It's like when he's talking about how he thinks about the girls from back in the day when he went to school with them, and he said that that's who he would masturbate to. I think that he imagines also relationships. He imagines them meeting his mom. He imagines them having this close bond. I think that's what turns him on. Outside of the normal stuff, well, I won't call it normal because it's about young people, so it isn't. But it's not just the physicality of it, although that's part of it, because he celebrates those things about these girls. And we can see that obviously through the chat log. He's talking about her physical characteristics, but it's also the other part. It's also the part that he really desperately desires, and I think that's turned into a part of his sexual fantasy, because when he's talking about, of course I want to be naked with you. I love you. Of course I want to be. I think it's all a part of it.
I 100% agree. I think it is as important as sex, if not more, honestly, maybe. Which makes it really hard to believe that he would ever want a one-night stand, because he doesn't. He wants the obsession and marriage, and he wants all of that. He even said that he, like, part of his fantasy was bringing these girls to meet his mother. That's something that he would fantasize about.
Right.
And I
How
think
weird
might
is
have been,
that?
But now you can include probation officer too, because he would love to introduce him to his mother and probation officer.
Oh, everybody, yeah. But I think that is this in the psych evaluation, they kind of touched on that. I think there was a part they had in there that was kind of vague and didn't go super specific, but it said something about like, now I can't remember how it was phrased. You guys remember? It was something about like it's not just basically the teenage body that he's attracted to. It's other aspects of the relationship as well that he wants. And I think part of it also is teenage girls get, the puppy love stuff. And they do the writing the name in hearts on the notebook and changing your password to your boyfriend's name and that kind of stuff. And that's what Lorne is. He's like a teenage girl in his brain.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff he wants too, which could be another reason that they are appealing to him. sort of emotionally on the same level as far as what they want in a romantic relationship. The only difference is Lorne is also like a horny, gross man. So, most teenage girls probably aren't thinking about sex constantly. But for Lorne, sex and love go hand in hand. He tells Kayla that when you love
It's
someone.
not so much sex he thinks about. It's everything's directed at his penis. It's not necessarily the operation of it and using it and doing. He talks about it, but again, I maintain he's got exhibitionist disorder, and that is his sexual release when somebody watches him, when somebody looks at him. He doesn't look at sex in a normal way.
Yeah,
He definitely
no
doesn't.
kidding. What's interesting here is where this actually comes from. So I suppose what I mean is like she all of a sudden says Bowling Green, so that's for the first time in the chat log. She's not even disclosed her address. She's just said Bowling Green. Now, is Bowling Green a town or a city? What is it?
Yeah.
I think it's considered a city.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
it's a big place, so I mean, it's all right. It's not like she's provided a full address. That's just a vague, right, I live in that part of the world type of thing.
he knows her name though.
Yeah, you're right. So it's giving him a clue, but what's
it gives him a
interesting
chance to start planning, though. It gives him a chance to.
Oh,
now
yeah,
he's
I
got.
understand why he's
the
excited, but
metric.
look at this though. Like, thank you for trusting me. So he's really grateful because he's established another foothold in the relationship. He thinks he's
Right.
got even higher. And one of his first reactions is protection of like, oh, I've got to make sure I don't lose her. Don't ever tell anybody else. He's already scared of losing her.
Mhm.
Already.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah,
not
like now
normal.
now
and-
she told one person her city, so she's gonna feel comfortable telling everybody.
Yeah, but
If she
it's
hasn't
interesting
already.
how insecure he
He
is.
wants
Like,
he wants to establish himself as a safe, fully grown man. No other grown men on the internet are safe. They're gonna hurt. They're gonna rape you. Probably even kill you. That's what happens to girls who give their address out. But not me. I'm the only exception.
You also have to remember, logically applying. Well, with Lorne, there's no logic, but she still hasn't given him the full information that he needs where she lives specifically. So,
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
exactly. So he's.
I mean,
gonna,
it'll come though.
right, but
He's
the
patient.
little bit she gave him right now, he's like rewarding her greatly. Telling her about the trust issues and all this other stuff, and how he's the only guy, blah blah blah. Then that'll come. Yeah. So gauging from his reaction, she's more apt to give him more information. That's in his mind now.
Yeah.
And then he expands on this even further here, and says you won't need to tell anybody else from the internet anyway because we're gonna be together forever anyway. So he's kind of like almost minimizing it a little bit and just establishing the fact that so she knows that it's okay. It's a foregone conclusion that they're going to be in this relationship forever. So it's
I got to tell you though, those last 6 words are like something out of something from a demon dialogue out of a horror film. We're going to be together forever anyway. That is really scary to me.
But there's a rose after that.
I know it does sound kind of threatening, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, forever. It's like, oh my God, it's.
You're right. It's almost
What
a
a
text
scary proposition.
that would be found on a murder victim's phone just before someone broke in.
Right.
You know what's funny about this is it says from the internet, and
From the internet.
we all know how important the internet plays a role in Lauren's social life, in dating, and I think that he's also assuming that it's like that for her as well.
Right.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny from the
I
internet.
did pick up on that. This kind of
Yeah,
internet
that's why
thing.
she's not allowed to talk to anyone else on the internet. She can't
Right.
just chat with people. It's
No.
going to lead to a lifelong relationship with anyone.
Well,
she
what
wants
about
to.
real people?
That's all the internet's for.
Lord doesn't understand that the threats in real life are there too. He thinks
That's
Well, he knows
definitely.
about Derek,
Yeah.
and
No, that
in
is
his
true
head.
though. That is true. He's more
he doesn't
worried
have enough
about the
social
internet.
interaction to realize
Mhm.
how society works.
Think about how he screams about the internet with Jamie,
Right.
you know, of
Right.
even specifically about Sheffrey
He
and
seems
about
more angry
Rod.
about their internet connections than say Will. You know,
Oh,
Rod's from the internet.
sure.
That's why he's
Yes,
vexed.
Rod's from the internet. Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
He's
Will I
very,
can deal
very
with.
threatened with people from the internet.
He sure is. You got that right.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm hoping for. she's all over the place, this guy, isn't he? Fucking hell. Oh, God. Me too. Smile.
He just wants her
I
to
have,
confirm it. That's all.
yeah. I have news for you too. What? I'm going to start looking tomorrow for a day job so we can have more so I can have more time with you. And oh, that's great. I have good news. I have to keep the job I have now until I find one though. So hang on a minute. Do you know, like in the famous phone call where he talks about quitting his job? Is it this job he
Yeah.
quits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tells the
Yeah.
boss to go fuck himself pretty soon.
Yeah.
Basically. Didn't say he did
Basically.
say that. He
Pretty
said
much.
basically.
And I want to know what the complaints were because I think he was fired.
No.
I don't think
Of course he was
quit.
fired.
Could have been a
I don't
mutual
know.
thing, but why would he offer the information that people were complaining? His boss was complaining he was talking to too many people in the building. That's true, and it's probably a lot worse than the way he described it. Obviously.
Well,
No?
there's a
Make people
possibility of
uncomfortable?
that. Well, there's a possibility of that, but there's also a possibility that Lorne wasn't doing his job. He wasn't
Well, he
just
said he didn't
calling
sell
on the
shit,
phone and
right?
he was being distracted. Yeah. So he could have been
Yeah.
distracting other people. He was being disruptive or whatever and not really being
But why would he
focused.
offer that story though? Instead of saying I quit the job, but I'm not really good at it. The big thing is I'm not good at desk jobs. That's what he actually said in his pre-sentence report. But why would he give Kayla the information about him being essentially accused of creeping people out in the building? Why would he say that?
But he didn't say that, I don't think. I think he
Well, he
said
didn't say it that way. But what I'm saying is take it
Right.
the worst way. I mean, he presented it in the most positive way. Okay? Imagine what the truth is. That's all
Well,
I'm
but
saying.
also consider how he talks about the reason why he's still in his class is because he's not in a relationship. And that's never what they said.
Yeah, he
Right.
makes it up. I get the feeling he was trying to impress Kayla by saying, "Oh, can you believe my boss thought he could tell me what to do, what I can or can't do? I told him to go
Yeah,
fuck
there's
himself.
that
No
too, I
one
think.
told me what I
Yeah.
can
And
do."
also, most
Definitely.
people, and this isn't just Lorne, if you get fired from a job, rather than take responsibility and go, yeah, actually, it was coming to me, you'll make up some kind of excuse and say, well, actually, he was telling me who I couldn't talk to. It's a common thing. And with Lorne, because he's so immature, and of course, you're exactly right, he's going to want to show off to Kayla. He's like, I told him to go fuck himself. What? He says, sir, can I leave now? That was probably something like that, wasn't it? He certainly
I would
Yeah.
love if we could have like a a fly in the wall when that happened and the boss walks away from him and Lorne says under his breath, "Go fuck yourself." And the boss says, "What'd you say to me?"
Nothing, sir, nothing.
I would love that. I'm sorry, did you say something?
Well, and the thing is as well, Lorne's certainly not suited to that type of job. He's more of an outdoorsy, hands-on kind of person. Sitting in some call centre yapping on about Beatles tickets. I don't think would have been his forte.
That doesn't fit.
Yeah, verbal communication isn't exactly Lorne's strong suit.
Or
No.
interior.
Oh, he's so well
inside a
spoken
building.
though.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Remember how he was on the phone trying to sell the tickets and he accidentally called the woman on the phone Kayla because he was thinking about his girlfriend.
That was bullshit. I didn't know.
And she said it was cute. She said,
Oh,
"Oh, that's so
bullshit.
cute. You must really love her. You two must
That's
be
how
so
Mike
in
knows
love. You're
Mike
probably
is.
the best boyfriend ever."
That definitely
Much better than
happened. You're right,
DJ.
Amanda James. Right, DJ never did that, did he? Yeah. He's not even old enough to work.
Brilliant.
Piece of shit.
Does DJ have your posters all over his walls? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
The DJ's probation officers come in and make him tear your posters down? Dude? Can you
Did
imagine the
DJ go
probation
to
officer
rape
coming
class
in
and defend you? Bet he
Yeah.
didn't.
So here, I got a surprise for you. What? Just a minute. Be right back. It's interesting that actually, what's great about this, I have no idea what's coming up. Like, I mean, obviously you can't memorize this chat, but there's some people that are more familiar with it than others. What? Just a minute. Okay, Kay, I'm back.
That'd be the phone. I think the phone.
Is it the credit card?
No, Kayla says to Lorne, I got a surprise for you.
Oh.
Right.
Do you see it there?
Oh, okay.
Can you not see
You
the
got
screen?
access to the phone. That's my guess.
I see it. Yeah, I weren't
Oh,
paying attention.
Right,
to that.
okay. I love you too. So anyways, my parents are going away
Oh.
October 18th. Whoa.
Coming together.
Oh,
Coming together.
Here we go.
Bowling Green, October 18th. Make your plans, Lord. That's what we got. This is beautiful.
For you.
Oh my God.
So this is where they've got the plans together, haven't they? They've established it's in Bowling Green. And yeah, what the dates are. So it's basically
They're sick of talking to him, man. They just want to catch him now.
Do you think they did deliberately choose his birthday?
How wonderful.
I'm going to say yes.
yeah, me
Because
too. Just
I
in case
want
Lorne's
that.
listening
So
to this,
petty.
they definitely did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they
So
did
petty
it
and
because
evil. I love it. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
well, it would make Lorne think that it's going to be a special time with her because it's his birthday.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
yeah.
birthday gift.
Yeah,
Oh,
you might get a little something.
does he mention this? Does he even sort of cotton on that this is his birthday? What do we reckon?
Yeah, right underneath that.
You cheat. Do you remember when what October?
You remember the birthday? She's like, oh, I fucking remember, Lauren.
We all know.
remember, and
We
you'll
all know.
never
What do you mean
forget
we?
that day. You'll never forget for the rest of your life.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It is great. October the 1st is a great day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh God, do you remember? I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of wondering the decoy remembered Lorne's birthday. It's pretty cool because like.
Well, they're cops. You got to remember, they're writing down information
No, but
about
they're
the
not
guy.
cops.
You know? Well, yeah, they are. I mean,
no,
they're
the
working in
decoy's
coordination
not.
with. They're working in coordination. They know how to gather evidence, and they know how to gather evidence of identity. And one of those pieces of evidence is the guy's birthday.
Yeah.
So
Well, if
they
we're
wrote that
right-
down somewhere.
If we're right, then they certainly remembered it was his birthday because they planned the sting for that day specifically.
Yes.
They're writing every piece of identifying information about this guy because if he doesn't come, they're probably going to go get him anyway.
And Chris,
So-
isn't it the first thing
So when
that
he
Chris
keeps his
mentioned?
camera on, they try to zoom in on a piece of mail, check his name out there, or look for anything identifying about him. He gives social security number. Thanks, Lord. I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He made it so easy.
They're writing all
too.
the shit down. They're writing all the
His
shit down.
screen name or username or whatever is Lorne.
Yeah,
Password
he really
for his
Password.
account as well.
Yeah, you can imagine one of the Bowling Green detectives going, "Okay, let's check it out. Oh, we can get into his Facebook now."
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, he's even basically, just in case they were the worst cops ever and they didn't know what crimes he committed, he even spells it out in the chat log for them. Well, I can't do anything with you because you're under 18. It's like, oh, here it is, boys. Don't worry.
I know.
Yeah. Told him his birthday so they knew exactly when to plan the sting for maximum sort of drama
Oh
on
yeah,
the show.
entertainment value.
So Chris could say, and it's his birthday today. Great.
Yeah, he's going to be bringing a camera. He's going to be taking photographs of her naked. You know,
Mhm.
it's just perfect. See what I mean about the perfect crime earlier in a kind of, you know, not the perfect. He's the perfect criminal.
Thing. Yeah. Well, he just set it up, so he just handed it to them.
He certainly did. Okay, your birthday. Smile. You're the best B-Day present I could ever have too. Are you excited and anxious for me to be here? To be here? Huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
For it to be here that day.
it to be here.
Oh, right. He usually puts it in capital letters, so I was a bit confused to what it was.
It means his birthday and his penis.
Yes. This time, because it's small, it's a small I.
Oh.
He's talking about his birthday. If it was a big I, it's his.
Could be
big.
both. Could be both.
Well, that is true. Everyone else knows that, but he doesn't.
Are you excited and anxious? Yes, me too. Can you hang on, Precious? Bud's getting antsy. What?
Dude, I'm
Antsy,
sorry.
like he really wants to go outside.
Take a look at generic internet mail's comment.
Let me see.
Your cap has been.
Your cap has been bagged as evidence, but you can cover your baldness with this little party hat. That would have been amazing.
Oh my God. I just clicked in my head. That would have been so funny if they put a little birthday hat on him.
Yeah, that would have been funny. And as they're taking his mugshot, they're singing "Happy Birthday." He starts to cry.
Oh yes, I just got the image, that mugshot in my head. That face.
And that face is so perfect.
He was thinking it to himself, Tiffany.
Yeah.
To me.
Holding a balloon.
Fucking birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Then they took the shot.
Aw.
Ruined my birthday. You hit my nose with the camera and everything.
Okay, so he's making Bud wait around to go to the bathroom.
I'm shocked Bud didn't just piss all over that apartment.
Bud definitely piss and shit in that apartment for sure.
Or at least on his suitcase that's still in the corner. If he shit on that, that would have been good.
On Lorne's bed on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
What are you wearing right now? Still in my jeans. I haven't taken my shower yet. What are you wearing for a top? Pink t-shirt. What colour? Panty. Pink. Just think 17 more days.
I've never had an interest like this. I don't know why.
No, it is weird that. I was just going to say, but we've talked about this before. I've never really been able to understand. I think he just wants.
If somebody sends me a picture with the sexy clothes on or something, I'll mention something like that. But I'm never going to ask somebody what they're wearing. I don't know.
Well,
maybe I have.
He does this with everybody. He wants to paint a picture in his mind, and he even says that. And I think it's because he lives in fantasy. When he's not talking to her, he's fantasizing about their life together, what they're going to do together. I think he literally sits around and fantasizes that she's there with him and that what he would say to her and do. And first of all, he's lonely. He's by himself. I think that's where his happiness in life comes from, when he's not directly communicating with one of the catfish. It's fantasizing about communicating with one of the catfish.
Yeah, and it's a way of him sexualizing her as well. I know that seems obvious by asking, the questions of what's her underwear like, but the more that he can, let's say she says, pink is more. Would pink be seen generally? So if my partner had pink underwear on, I'd say, oh, she wants to get it on tonight. Is seen more sexual, I think, or am I being a pervert?
I would think black or red.
All right, well,
I
so
think
not
you're being
pink.
a pervert. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I think. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think you're all perverts, basically.
Pink is more innocent, like a little girl is wearing pink.
Oh, fuck.
Her little light pink.
No, it's white.
My cover's been blown now.
No, his big thing. He wants her in white. Remember?
He does.
it reminds me of like, little girl underwear, like little girl Hanes panties that you buy in a pack of 6, and there's light pink and light purple and light blue, and there's white ones in there because they're, you got to bleach because she's a child. You never know, you got to bleach them. Like they're little kid panties. If she said like Shin said, red or black, those are, I would
or leopard skin or something. Remember she said leopard skin?
Yeah, little girls don't wear black or red.
Exactly.
What happened to your innocence?
Oh, I think he'd go crazy at the same time. Like, I don't think that would turn him
Derek
off.
bought me these.
Oh, that would be bad. I think also, obviously, we think of pink associated with a little girl because that's who Kayla's supposed to be. I think if there's a woman who's saying she's wearing pink, that's different. It's a different context altogether. So I don't think it's just a matter of saying, pink. But what Amanda James said is perfect. You think of the panties that, are for little kids. It's their underwear. Yeah, they have little unicorns on them and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Right. The one that goes up to your waist.
Sure.
Yeah, they're right. Little girl free.
But I think, like you said, Amanda James, just him painting any picture, in his brain, it's more real for him if he knows, because obviously he wants to fantasize her as much as he possibly can, and if he's got the colour, it's like making him excited even more, isn't it? And it's making her more adult in a way as well. Well, sexualized, as I was saying, we know from the pictures that she's not even, she's just starting to develop. I don't really like talking about it, but
no, she's a little girl.
Yeah,
she's a little girl, right?
Yeah, she was supposed to be in this chat
log. A white thong would be perfect.
Right. She does not need a bra.
No,
she's just a little girl. You're right.
Kid.
She's not.
And he's already spoke to her at this point as well. Don't forget.
Oh yeah.
Right. So he's heard that voice.
Yeah, which is huge. That's huge.
It is.
Right, it's almost
just so weird the way he segued into that.
Oh, your code goes away. We're gonna have to do a lot of planning on the phone. You know that, right? Okay.
Oh, really, Lorne? Why is that, Mr.
So tell me, Precious, what are you thinking about right now? Oh, for fuck's sake! Here we go. I can't wait to see you.
That's all I hear him saying is no, I don't want to. That's all I hear him saying.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, he doesn't waste any time, does he, Luke? Do you know what time they're leaving on the 18th? He's already trying to plan his moves.
Yep. Not even. Yeah. She gave him the dates between 18th and the 21st, and he picked the first day, of course. It's his birthday, of course.
It's his birthday. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Now he's got to save money.
To go there and back and there and back
there
again.
There and back again. Yeah, exactly. He's gonna just have bologna sandwiches for the next week.
Hang on a minute. Do you know what time they're leaving? I'll find out. Whatever you do, don't make it too obvious that you want them to leave. They'll wonder about something being up.
Oh my God.
Oh, look, he's reciprocating. He's reciprocating.
What's this number now that he's giving out?
Oh, that is great.
It's his phone number.
Yeah.
But why is he not putting it all as one number? Is he trying to fool the Yahoo police?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but, why would that fool the Yahoo police?
With Kayla.
Because it's not all together.
Yeah.
But then he destroys.
Kayla.
But then he destroys his little encryption by saying cell.
It's my cell, right?
Right.
But you can see he's trying to be sneaky. Instead of saying it's my cell phone number, Precious, he just says cell.
Yes.
He's trying to be vague by specifying exactly what it is.
Yeah, he can't say the word number. Remember, he was saying PN.
Yes.
Oh, he can't say phone.
Yeah, really phone or number. Yeah.
He's so clever, isn't he? He comes up with all these schemes to avoid detection.
But look how thirsty he is, though, after she said, this is all after Bowling Green, after she just released that little thing, and then the 18th. And then boom, look how thirsty he wants to reciprocate so bad and keep going and keep the momentum going and get that specific address and nail her down. He's really thirsty here.
Hang on a minute. So don't ask them what time they're leaving. We don't want them to know what we're doing. What the fucking going on in that brain of his? So he wants to know what time they're leaving, but he doesn't want her to ask them the question in case they get suspicious to go, hang on a minute, you want to know what time we're leaving and we're leaving you on your own for 3 full days? Have you got a 36-year-old boyfriend on the go that you're trying to bring
right.
I always
37
think
today.
with Kayla.
And according
You
to
wanna know
Kayla,
what
they
time we're leaving?
they won't even tell her where they're going.
Right. Right. I don't know. Just you're going to be left
according
here
to Kayla,
alone.
She also didn't know if she had a garage. So
Right.
the reason Lorne is saying don't act too excited. You don't want to make him suspicious is because he thinks this child is so fucking stupid that she's
Yes.
going to be like, Mom and Dad, when are you going? When are you going? Oh, I'm just packing a bag. I'm not going anywhere though, Mom. I'm packing an extra pair of my white panties. But I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go see my
Dad,
boyfriend
can
in
you buy me some
Nashville.
thong, by the way?
He's definitely not 36. So don't worry. But what time are you leaving? I need to know because he's going to pull up in our driveway. So,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna
be fair
be in
to
the
Lorne,
kitchen.
Kayla's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to leave my 13-year-old kid wants to have a dinner party and make flambés in the kitchen without me.
Wow, the
Perfect.
1st of October
Flames.
goes on for some fucking... Look at this. This is like 4 pages. Because it's getting
Wow,
like
and
a
it's
bit...
late at night too.
Yeah, wow.
I see coffee. I see you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
wish I
Luke,
could
God, I
marry
wish I
you
could
right
marry you
now.
right now. Look at this.
Actually,
Listen
it
to
might
this
seem like a
belter.
long time.
This 1st of October is the best. Are you sure you're ready to be naked with me?
And this is the day
Insist
when
to that.
when he questions her photo.
Oh,
Oh.
bollocks.
I just saw somebody with her talking about the one with the dark hair is Sarah.
Sure, you want to be ready to be naked with
Or
me.
right there.
The girl with the
Mhm.
dark
11:22.
Cassie, my cousin. That's me in the middle. I know that's you in the middle. Like I said, nobody in the world is as beautiful as you. I actually have that pick up right now.
Oh.
Oh, wait a
Okay,
minute.
so maybe
Don't-
this isn't when he
You
questions
kind of
her.
skipped over the part where he was actually planning it out in his head where he's going to park his truck and stuff. But he goes through that too.
Oh
Where he
wow.
needs to
Yeah,
know
I
where
saw
she lived.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, hopefully I find a little, I don't know, someplace to park my truck that's not in your driveway.
Right.
Oh, good old.
Yeah, it's
Is there a
Same
lot of
shit,
woods
yeah.
by your house?
We're gonna have to start wrapping it up because it's. I'm kind of glad that the 1st of October goes on forever because we can't finish it all. Because I was gonna have to get going anyway. It would have been a shame if it was like achievable, but it isn't. But it's been good fun. Have you enjoyed going over the chat log, Tiffany? I think maybe it isn't that bad because we haven't been over anything like disgusting. It's just all been stupid.
Yeah, it's all been stupid. Yeah.
We're all concerned about you, Tiffany. You okay?
Aw.
You stick
Well,
with us
I
on this?
yes,
We
thank
also
you so much for asking.
We don't spend a ton of time on the chat log in these streams. We veer off
Oh.
onto other stuff a lot. So I feel like we don't,
And then we have to
really
look
get
because
through
we have
too
to look
much.
away.
Yeah.
Well, it just brings up so many other things.
It
And
does.
it's
Yeah,
funny
there's
as
a lot
well.
to talk about.
It's really funny. Like, even as many times as it's been done. Like, so for instance, think about how many laughs we've had now. We can't remember. It's like a guessing game. You're always trying to guess what he comes up with next. And it's always more ridiculous than you imagined or remembered. You're like, oh my God. You know, there's always shocking moments of stupidity and bumbling along and perversion. And it is quite rightly a sacred document. It really is. But it's been good to sort of go over this because it's like on this day. We've never done that before, so that's been cool. So what day is Lorne's Day this year?
It's on a Wednesday.
Oh, right, okay. Well, we'll do something, hopefully. Well, yeah, we'll definitely... Someone will be streaming, even if it's me and Adam or whatever. Whoever's available will be doing something.
Well,
there was a
suggestion that if you stream, that you do the outside footage on that day.
Who suggested that? You?
No, well,
We've already done that, haven't we?
I second the emotion, but no, it was in the chat earlier.
No, didn't we? Haven't we already done that? I'm pretty sure we have. We've done everything. I mean, I've no objection to it specifically, but we might as well do something different. But anyway, we've got, according to Lorne, 17, is it 13?
I'm sorry.
What haven't we done, Amanda?
We haven't. Well, I don't think we have, or I don't know. Looked at his MySpace page closely.
Yeah, and there's a picture of Derek that we can laugh at as well on there. So that might.
He had one of those. Everybody has like their aunt on Facebook who posts quotes that say like, "If you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best." Or like,
some shit like
I'm a beautiful disaster, or I am who I am, like it or fuck off, or some sassy little thing like that. Lorne had one of those, at least one of those on his MySpace. But there's also a thing where he filled out sort of like a little questionnaire, like about me thing, answering questions that like a teenager would do. And they were questions like, what's your favorite body part on yourself? And his answer was, don't want to say, because I don't want to say I don't want to be full of myself, lol. Like it's very teenage.
But
girl.
the other one, he said, she was asked, the question was, what's the most frequent thing you say on the phone or something like that? And it was something like, are you ready to talk to me yet? It's like, it was so revealing. He probably said that many times. Yeah. If you look at that, I remember that stuck out to me.
Cake and Ice Cream has said we haven't done the outside footage together. If I can get everybody together, and that's certainly the case, yeah, I mean, if everybody's up for it, why not? Because it is fucking hilarious. Tiffany, you've got to join us for Lorne's hat falling on the floor.
Yes.
That is great. Well, I will be working.
Yeah.
So, but I could always tap in for a little bit.
Don't you automatically get Lorne's day off every year? Don't your employers just pay you?
Really? Really?
Well, they should.
Mine do.
They should. Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, thank you very, very much to Shin, Tiffany, Amanda James for joining us on the 13th day of LORNT.
It's good to have the crew back, huh?
It is, yeah. It's always good fun when we're all together. We always have a laugh. It's good fun. It's good fun. So yeah, thank you to everybody in the chat as well. Thank you for your contribution. Please leave any comments if you're watching this retrospectively, because I know a lot of you do. Obviously, not everybody can join us on the stream. So yeah, I don't know when we'll be doing anything next, but we'll definitely do something on Lornmus Day. So yeah, thank you guys who are with me. Thank you everybody in the chat. And we will catch up with you soon.